With that said, there was a Con42 in Germany. This is a German convention. They put a lot of time and money into this. It's pretty wild, and they get a bunch of devs over there that fly over to Germany too, train over from the UK, and they talk about Star Citizen. Apparently, most of it's in German, I think, but some of it is in English, and apparently it was up on Twitch, and they have a big talk about it. So let's check out and see what we could learn from this event that was on Twitch this week.
Hat's nicht gemerkt, perfekt. Gleich vorweg, Englisch oder Deutsch, was ist für euch einfacher?
English, please.
English, please. Okay, so. Wie vorher auch schon angekündigt, ganz zu Anfang, falls der ein oder andere es verpasst haben sollte, wir werden in diesem Panel, so wie in den vorangegangenen Panels, nicht übersetzen.
So it is in English apparently from here.
Einfach, weil wir die Zeit, die für übers Übersetzen draufgehen würde, einsparen wollen und ihr wollt so viele Fragen wie möglich loswerden und die Zeit möchten wir euch gerne bieten.
This panel's insane. Under me, and maybe we'll switch to this scene. Under me, or now on the screen, we have vehicle experience team. We have two, this is all the gameplay in one room. English or German? English. Okay, speaks German. I think he's speaking to the audience right now, is explaining what's about to happen to the German audience. Relax,
Deswegen
American.
Müssen wir an der Stelle einfach darauf verzichten. Und ja, wollen wir einfach starten? I'll head down. The stage is yours. I will have some prepared questions, and then I think we will just make the changing between prepared crowd chat, and so on. Just hope that the technique will work.
Really big thing they're doing here. Look at this thing.
Wow, da ist eine Kamera.
They have a stage and.
So the first question that we have prepared is to Dan. To what extent will players be able to change the environment, planet surface? For example, will we be able to drive tunnels into mountains or level hilly terrain?
That's not a question for Dan, but okay. That's a question for anybody who works on Planet Tech. That's like an engine team. That is not a Dan question at all. He's like a gameplay designer.
Or will that happen automatically when we put outpost base modules somewhere?
In the very short term, it already happens with our tools automatically. It's when you place outpost on the planet, it automatically levels terrain to do this.
Levels terrain, but no tunnels.
Being able to carve terrain, build tunnels and all this stuff. Not in the near future in any way.
Go play No Man's Sky.
But who knows eventually, but it's not in the foreseeable plan right now.
Okay, that would mean first question from the crowd. Do I see some hands? There.
All right. Crowd questions.
Hi, I have a question from Watermelon that is currently represented on stage, and his question is about what about tricording and its future, and about changing the square input to round input for pitch and yaw?
Whoa, that is a super technical question. I will not understand what the answer is, but it sounds very important.
Okay, so we're still trying to figure out whether we keep tricording in the game or not, because in a competitive sense, it has a couple of problems. Have you ever played with a gamepad? Right, some of you might, some of you like, no, right? But gamepads and joysticks are pretty similar in terms of how they process inputs. Both of them have a have a full extension of the X and Y axes. The problem is that they have a circular mask at the bottom. So physically, gamepads and certain joysticks are not able to go into the corners, which then affects things like combining pitch and yaw axes and tricording as well. And this is kind of like, we're not really sure if we're going to allow players to combine the axes. We have code in place to go either way. What this will be in the end, we don't know yet. It's just like something we have to figure out yet. So you will not get a definitive answer from me whether or not we'll keep tricording or not.
Okay.
Okay, that question answered. It would be the question from the chat stream, which there is none yet. So I will just go forward.
Damn, all these sponsors.
And surprisingly, the next one is also for Dan. Will there be a deeper survival mechanic? To what extent is this already considered in the planet design? Example. Will we be able to cut down trees later on, which we can then use for shelters or campfires to avoid...
Dan doesn't work on the planets, dude. What are you doing? Dan and Torsten are the same thing. This was yesterday. I don't know where they got their information crossed, but Dan does not work on planet tech.
It's freezing.
That's why he's like, guys, I don't... What?
So we're definitely taking survival very serious in the game. We want to offer the player at least a few survival tools. I mean, we started with certain suits that take certain environmental conditions better, but it will come to food and sustenance, basically, to keep yourself alive if you get stranded on a planet. It will come to having some form of shelter, as you guys call it, by... you guys would like to have it with cutting down trees and building maybe Minecraft-ish cabins in the woods. We would rather give you guys a bit more sci-fi things that you can use there, like more sci-fi tents and other kind of mobile shelters that you can just deploy. But all of this stuff is still in the works, and it will take quite some time to go to live.
Thank you for that.
At least like proper expectations are being set. Like one of the things that you could tell is when you get the community all in one place, all talking about Star Citizen, all have devs in the room, they start asking these like mega pie in the sky questions that are just not priorities for any of these people right now, right? Yogi on the left, priority is like getting flight to be good. The question that guy asked, I think was actually a really good question in relation to getting flight in a really good place. And tricording is something that, as far as I'm aware, is not an advanced tactic, but it's something that your average, like, casual player would not even be thinking of doing. And then Torsten and Dan are game designers, right? They're the ones who are bringing in all of the gameplay systems at a tier 0 state. That's it. Survival is done by the actor feature team, not represented on this panel. So survival stuff, Dan might know what's going on there, but not represented on the panel, and they're all on Squadron 42 right now. These two guys are like salvaging, mining, repair, refuel, that kind of stuff.
Oh, crowd. Whoop, 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 whoop. I don't know how to reach you. Just a second, from behind.
Oh, thank you. Hi, I wanted to ask, at the moment, when you salvage something, you get the salvage material, but this is bound to the player at the moment. So if you try to do group play,
good question,
and try to sell it, maybe multiple salvage ships and one transportation ship, it's marked as stolen cargo. And I wanted to ask if it's an intended feature at the moment, or if it's just something that went unnoticed or something because it's really blocking the multiplayer gameplay of salvaging with multiple ships and transporting it.
Short answer, that's not intended. So
great question.
In the future, we want to allow groups to do their errands in a group. That means that the ships that are actually salvaging the resources, that you can then transport off them onto a cargo ship, and then someone else sells them and you share the profit. But right now there are like still some systems missing for that, right? And yeah, but we are working on that.
That's a really interesting thing that he said. There are some systems missing for that. So he's either protecting the Austin studio who did the cargo refactor and maybe didn't finish everything, right? But in reality, what I think he's saying here is that they have plans. It really sounds like they have group play system plans, but those seem really far out. I wish like there was the ability to follow up. Okay, so you have systems plan, they're further out, but what are you going to do in the short term? Because you probably should do something, right? It seems really silly to not do that. Now, anyone watching that wants to do these things, it's a very simple solution. Give all your money to one player, like the leader of your group. They buy the cargo ship, or they buy the cargo ship and the number of vultures, let's say, that you're salvaging with. And if it's all done via one account, so you move cargo from player A vulture to player A cargo ship, and player A goes to sell it, then it works. So there is a workaround for it, and maybe that's why they're leaving it in. That's how we do it, but obviously that is a big, lengthy workaround that's kind of a pain.
And it is planned from our side that you will be able to do that.
It's really, and it's good to know that it's planned.
I have one question out of the stream, which is also about salvaging. Harry Hurtig is his name. What are the plans for salvage? Will there be a special laser hull scraper to extract a specific material? Or will all scrappers be able to salvage every kind of hull material?
Interesting.
So, this is something that I cannot really answer yet, because first we have to basically define the different hull materials, and then we have to see if it is actually necessary to create different scrapers, because hull scraping is just one part of the salvage mechanic, and I don't think that like overextending on this segment is actually necessary, because all the following parts or all the following aspects of salvage will get more complicated. So this is still something for us to see what actually makes sense from a gameplay point of view, because like the reason why salvage is, or hull scraping is the way that it is right now, is because we needed a good or a relaxing counterpart to all the other mechanics that we had. And I think it is quite nice that we have this change of gameplay there, and I don't know if it's actually necessary to break that up right now.
Thank you.
I mean, let's break that down. That is really interesting. You know, reading into a lot of what he's saying, which is never a healthy thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. It sounds like they're really thinking about crafting at the moment, and they don't know. They know they could easily extend the system, but they don't have the armor system in place, and they don't, like, you know, materials, nobody's defined them or whatever, so they would just be faking everything. It would get completely changed. That aside, they've talked about crafting a lot. They don't know what if, you know, do they need the different types of materials? What are they? All those things. I think it's more along the line of the armor system not being figured out rather than crafting being the blocker for maybe making it a little bit deeper. But I also, and you know, I didn't agree with this initially until someone else said it. It's nice to have the relaxing, just like chill out experience, and you know, to go along with mining that your ship can blow up and stuff like that. So I think it's fine that it's quite basic. Does this mean even crafting things? We don't know. We don't know. This is Sparta, so.
Yogi, a question for you.
This was yesterday, apparently.
What is the status of implementing ship armor?
Ship what?
Armor.
Ship armor. There is a functional Gladius prototype with some physicalized armor, but the pipeline of the game is not yet set up yet to scale this up to a lot of ships, so it's still a while out.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's basically all I can say about this at the moment. We know that there's some issues with the armor treatment currently in the PU. We're thinking about ways to mitigate that in the short term, but it's still a while off.
Thank you
They
for that.
gotta get the ships flying, man.
So, to follow the procedure, I have seen a hand back here from the crowd way before. There it is, the hand, and there's the person to it.
Thank you very much. My question probably goes to Yogi. It's about ship assistance systems or autopilot. I mean, I was driving here to Frankfurt today with my flashy new electric car, and it knows how to keep a lane to warn me from collisions. And eventually, I mean, if we see Tesla's autopilot, it will drive us from A to B without needing to.
How much Bitcoin does this guy have?
And I mean, right now we have kind of a, what is it, a 90s state of autopilot in Star Citizen, like you put in the speed and it keeps the speed, that's it, right? So will we see something that goes over the 90s technologies very soon or anytime in Star Citizen?
Interesting question.
I mean, I think they want to keep things tactile.
We can just do that because we have an AI system that internally uses actually a class that is called autopilot to do whatever it needs to do, right? But whether or not we're going to use that to basically take the day-to-day flying task from you, I'm not sure. This is not a call that we could do. I mean, theoretically we could do this, but whether or not we have that or not, we would need to discuss that with CR because he's very much involved into the flight model development.
Oh, is he? Yikes. That sucks. No wonder it's not done. We thought it was just Yogi the whole time. Oh, no. Here's as far as I would take it. Let me know what you guys think. Auto landing at planets. I would do that. We would get close, planets and stations, press a button, and it would automatically, bring me in. I would do that. But that's as far as I would go, I think. I wouldn't even auto land on a surface, just like cities and stuff. All right, let's...
And whatever you can do in ships. So I cannot answer that, sorry.
I would like to add on that a bit. While it's a good idea in real life, there's a very good question of how hands-off do you want to be in this game? Do you want to play it, or do you just want to set autopilot, go to the toilet, go upstairs, walk your dog? Is that playing at that point?
Yeah.
We can actually add it. Sorry. Yeah. We can add it, but there will have to be a downside to it. As in, if you use autopilot, you only go at half the speed and it takes twice as much to get there. But if you're actually a good pilot and you fly, you do all the things perfectly, then you'll get there on time. So we could do something like this. The question is that needed? We can experiment with it. We see if you guys like it. We have our analytics, and we see if we worked 3 months and then we see analytics say that no one actually uses that, then we're probably gonna have wasted 3 months of development. Problem is right now there's bigger fish to fry, and I think a lot of you are waiting for some proper gameplay to put in rather than...
Dan doesn't know this community. They don't give a crap about proper gameplay, clearly. With the amount of hate that I've gotten over the years, just asking for legitimately normal gameplay that's in any other game, you don't know your audience here. They want autopilot so they can continue to look at ship fleet view while they're, they want all their ships in autopilot flying next to them so they can have an in-game fleet viewer, I think.
AFK playing.
Not that this guy that asked the question wants that.
You always have the option to, hire somebody to fly your ship, right? So.
I actually don't know if that question from the stream is to be answered by you because, yeah, well, it is about clothing. Can anybody say something about clothing? No.
I mean, what is the question?
The question is, when are all clothing items be available for the female characters?
No, they can't.
Because it is mostly older shirts, pants, and hats.
Right. I can absolutely surely say that we cannot reply to that question.
What are they going to do?
This is generally what happens with questions that start with when. But in general, when it comes to female characters, we have a lot of behaviors that are started, or behavior or items or pieces of equipment that are started in the male form, and then we try to, as quickly as possible, convert them to the female character. We are seeing big problems in development if we only do them for the male character, because the NPCs and the players have both of them, and as soon as we do something only in one of them, it causes problems for the game. So we are trying to actively, very quickly convert all of our male either clothing, characters, character equipment, and AI to work with both animation sets and all of this.
Because I do think, like, you know, people are, you know, maybe starting with male, people will think is like sexist or whatever, but the it's not that they don't care. Like, some people think that it's like this malicious thing, and it just isn't, you know?
Well, better than no answer so far. Just a second. I think the one that comes next is again for Yogi. What is the status of rebalancing the different components so that it is possible again to have different ship builds, stealth, damage output, fast jump, etc.?
I mean, the ships have to be able to fly.
Work in terms of component balancing, it depends. So when you talk about weapons, the majority of the work is currently done in Con42, and we will move that over to the PU once it's all fine and ready. As for the item components, Thorsten, do you want to say something about that?
What?
About the item component balance?
Oh, yeah.
Because it kind of like touches on your stuff as well.
Yeah, that is heavily tied to our basically engineering or resource network work.
Okay.
And, so once we move that into a more like finite or final state, then this will definitely have a huge impact on all the items that we currently have, and that would require a huge rebalance of all the items anyway. And yeah, our goal there is definitely that like the difference between the items are like more drastic, even if it comes to energy consumption and stuff like that. So those are even aspects that you are not seeing yet, because the current system doesn't give that. So that will be also a huge aspect to itemization on ships and everything associated with that.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Thanks for that. So while I was going back here, there was somebody waving at me, wanting to have the next question.
Sorry for my bad English. I am a trader. I'm loving trading. And how is the status of trading missions or a real space trucker gameplay? You know,
that I believe is being dealt with in Austin, but hopefully Dan or Thorsten can answer. I mean. Exciting. Let's see.
There are initiatives in this point. We are right now, the mission content teams is kind of right now focusing on Pyro. What we can't really do for Pyro right now, because it's fairly lawless system, is do more organized trucking. But for Stanton, we definitely want to do this. It is in the works, but it's we have to focus a lot of our mission creation on Pyro right now, sadly. As soon as that is out the door, then probably that will be one of the main priorities for Stanton and all of the other solar systems.
Yeah, one more thing to add there is actually the changes that will be coming now with 3.19 with the mining update. There are also some tweaks that we did for the commodity prices. So that
should
make some improvements there. So there will be a change, and actually our goal for that change is actually to improve also the trading mechanic. So it's more lucrative if you go or travel farther distances and
All right.
Thank you. For the one in the first row before your arm falls off,
Yeah, but like the mission creation, obviously, yeah, they need to do stuff in Pyro. That caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting Pyro to be the blocker for something like that, especially when cargo refactor is being worked on, as far as we're aware, in Austin, still, based on monthly reports, all that stuff.
Seen you. I'll come next to you. There's one more from the stream. Have you considered things like wingsuits or parachutes for more survivability?
Oh my God, bro.
If you're
This has been like a 10 for the chairman question for 10 years. Yes, I'm sure they do.
Forced to leave a vehicle mid-air or even just for fun.
It sounds like fun. So internally we talked about that, just about the technical differences, like when you jump out of a ship with a wingsuit, does it use IFCS or something like that, right? Other than this, it's like I cannot answer that because it relates to the actor, and I'm not in the actor team, so I can't really say anything about that. You have more, Dan?
I am also not in the actor team. I'm very, very sorry.
But we are aware that at the moment when you are in atmosphere and you decide to eject... well, there's gravity, right? So
I guess that answered everything.
I like this guy.
The next one is for Thorsten.
He's funny.
Now that the first iteration of salvaging is playable in form of hull stripping, I would be interested to know how salvaging ship components is going to be approached. How will component inflation be prevented if it becomes possible to salvage components from destroyed ships?
Yeah, so how the item retraction will be solved is something that you will then be able to play in 3.19. So you will be able to actually try that out. And since this is then the first release or the first playable version of that, there is still some work to be done on our side, but the goals there are that we will take a similar approach like we also did with loot generation. That means that some items that you now are still able to buy from the shops might disappear from the shops, so that you will only find them on certain AI chips. Or,
Let's go!
Then in addition to that, the prices right now are definitely something that also has to be adjusted to the current or the upcoming situation with 3.19, but for that we also need data to actually see how much the profit is for the item stripping aspect of that, and then additionally then we also have to look into the claiming. So right now it is sadly the case that if you claim your ship, your item is coming back with all the items.
Yeah, and that's like the big thing. So they what choice are they going to make here? Because it's there, to me there's only two ways. It's claim or three ways, I guess. Claim timers, which they already tried, the community lost their mind. Higher costs for claims, really much significantly higher costs for claims, where I don't think the community is going to lose their mind as much, because what you have to do is you have to go and remove the profit possibilities, right? And then the other option is you completely lose the components, which I think the community would absolutely lose their mind. But I would choose option number 3 eventually, but not right now. The game is too buggy. Your ship explodes for too many reasons outside of your own mistakes to punish players for losing components. But there needs to be mitigation of players just salvaging their own ships over and over again. It's just stupid. And the thing is, we've seen the community with conga lining the Vandal mask, Jumptown, whatever. Conga lining at Jumptown is totally fine. If you can do it, they will do it. So you have to get ahead of it. And yeah, insurance fraud is a lot more complicated of a thing, I feel like, to implement. So in the short-term system, why not just, increase cost would be where I would go in the short term, but eventually go to a place where it's a combination of the two, right? You lose your components when you die, or you get extremely expensive insurance to keep them.
They are actually not laughing about your answer. It's more what happens in the background of you.
It's just clap, guys. Lots of clapping. Let's go.
Thank you for that.
I thought it was my funny German accent that triggered all of you, but it's not that funny.
So there's one more question from the crowd.
Okay. Hi. We got right now a lot of different ships in the pipeline and released also. We got medic ships, we got combat ships, big, small, whatever. But the last concept sale was the Galaxy, right? Was this the last one? Yeah.
Who knows?
And I got this ship right now. I'm really excited about. But in general, how much ships you got in the pipeline as well for the future? We got, and you say, okay, 10 ships more and then we are done, or...
Oh, man. Poor guy. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. If I didn't laugh, I would cry.
How much ships coming in general? Or you think how much ships will coming after the Galaxy at the concept sale?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you exactly how many ships will be coming after the Galaxy. I think the ships are more or less the soul of this game, and I'm sure we'll be having new ships getting added to the game once we're version 1.0, once we're version 2.0, 3.0, 5.0.
Good answer, dude. Bonus coming this Christmas for Dan.
X.0. The ships will always be something that get added to the game.
Company man Dan. Yes, more ships.
Well, I am taking right now 2 questions from the stream because there's one thing that really confuses me too. What's the melon for? I don't even know how it ended up there.
I know what the melon is for. I'm not going to say it.
Anyone has a knife?
It was one of their devs that couldn't be there?
Did you see that the melon actually has a face?
I should turn it around. Hang on. How's this?
Well, the next question is, are there plans for player fleets that you can remote control? For example, to command a ship with NPC crew to facility A and sell at outpost B.
I think that answers the question before.
That? Sorry.
Sure. You were distracted by the melon.
By the melon, yes.
Oh, an org member that couldn't make it. Okay.
Are there plans for player fleets that you can remote?
Is this all a big German org? All these people? Or is it just, I don't think so, right? It's just like a community similar to like Bar Citizen, but Germany?
Control. For example, to command a ship with NPC crew to facility A and sell at outpost B.
So I don't think at any point we want to turn this game into an RTS game where you command NPC ships. In general, we want players to be driving our ships. We want to have NPC assist them in this job, but never pure NPC ships unless they're just enemies or things that are part of a mission or something like this.
That answer, like, I don't think that ever has been clearly answered ever in this way. It's always been kind of left up to speculation a little bit.
What we do want to offer in the future is some way of commanding a fleet, which means being able to give strategy game-like orders to your buddies in your
actual
fleet,
teammates,
rather than NPCs. So we want to be able, I'm the fleet captain and I say, you, and you attack that ship, you, and you, make sure nothing comes from this direction. So we will try to offer an interface that allows you guys to send commands to your fleet, and the people will receive them, and it will be up to them if they cooperate or not. This will not be like an RTS game where all the units agree with you. These are actual humans, and there's human error or sometimes sabotage.
I love
that. We just want to keep that open
answer
for the players rather than for NPCs 100% control shit.
I tell you what, that's one of the most clear, like, we never knew. 10 years, we were never sure. And listen, it's Star Citizen. A couple years from now, it could completely change. But that is the most clear answer on NPCs and your ships that I've ever heard, leading like all the way up to this point. I'm going to link the event to you guys in chat. Yes, I can link it to you in chat. This is a Con42. It's in Germany. Apparently it happened yesterday. And I was unsure if I was going to post this on YouTube because I know they're going to. I don't know if they have or have not yet, but these are things that are way too important to share with people worldwide. Like, this is insane to not share. These are answers we don't get.
One more question for that.
They edit these answers out of ISC. Like,
are there plans to connect individual buildings of a point of interest via streets and other infrastructure? Or on a larger scale, for example, connecting outposts and cities to each other? Can the tech to implement rivers be used for that purpose?
We have some of our tech guys that are already looking into how to build what we call our road tool. The rivers are indeed a start, and they've offered a lot of
Twitch content cannot be released on YouTube simultaneously.
But you can put it up quickly. To build this because all of our outposts kind of seem very singular in the middle of nowhere, and there's no feel of like they ever drove a truck into this place or out of this place. So we definitely want to do this, but considering how far apart our outposts are on the planet, that tool will take some time to build, and it's not as simple as just putting a spline between 2 points, because it needs to cover the terrain of the planet, the curvature of the planet. It needs to take into consideration what it's built on. A road in the desert doesn't look like a road in the jungle, and it might be the same road that crosses 10 biomes to get to where it needs to. So we are looking into this. Is definitely something we need.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I for roads, I think we're so far away from that still. I think they need to just build out planets significantly more for like little towns, outposts, big cities, little cities, stuff like that, if that's what they want to do. Because again, like Dan said, that distance is so far away from each other. It's not road copium. It's why do I have a ground vehicle, I think is what a lot of people are trying to figure out, is why are they pushing ground vehicles in some cases? Because it just seems like ships do a better job at nearly everything in comparison to ground vehicles, other than driving up maybe to a bunker currently, right? And the ground vehicles are actually cool, and you want them to be good, and you want them to be useful, but we haven't quite figured out a way to do anything with them. There's nothing to do with them in Star Citizen. So many wasted questions, bro. This is the Star Citizen community. They're interested in hundreds of different things. From your perspective, wasted questions. From their perspective, the most important ones. If I was to ask all the questions I want, I guarantee a majority of the people think that I would be wasting questions because I wouldn't be asking heavy PvP questions to Yogi or so on and so forth, right? I get it. But we're all going to agree on what's important differently. I think it's the struggle that CIG goes through in their studio is what do you prioritize? It's impossible.
The next one from the crowd who did want to ask something, it's quite impossible for me to reach.
Hi, my name is Frank. I have a more technical question. So after more than 10 years of development, and we have seen in the past some issues with the graphics engine, and since Amazon is not longer supporting the Lumberyard engine, is there a strategy from your side, or is it even possible to swap the graphic engine at some point? Thank you.
Wait, they're not supporting it?
I cannot give you any details, but I don't think there's much left in this engine that resembles what it was. I can tell you there's some people in this room that are working on completely upgrading our rendering engine. So you'll be seeing Gen 12, you'll be seeing Vulkan. It'll be a completely different beast. As we've changed this engine until now for what we need.
It was the engine change question.
Yeah, we will do so for graphics, so no worries there.
That was the sneaky way of Unreal 5? ?
This is our engine at this point. We're doing what we want with it. Our programmers are more than qualified to change it how they need it for this game.
For all of you in the crowd who are, stretching the arms, I can't go everywhere. So I will come to you as soon as possible, okay? One more from the stream.
It's like school.
Will we be able to ensure looted components when some components will no longer be able to be bought in shops? Customizing a ship with only lootable components will take very long and bugs can still destroy ships.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, the question itself was, will we be able to ensure looted components when some components will no longer be able to be bought in shops?
Didn't I say that already? So yes, there will be some components that will not be you cannot buy it.
I think the question is whether they will be able to insure the ones that they've looted because they're not available in shops. And I think right now there is no plan to do so.
Let's go!
If you get some rare components that...
Let's go, that's good, but bad. Like I said before, that's gonna hurt some people's feelings, but that's also as long as they don't do it to an extreme extent. So the big thing here is there's a fine balance here, right? If you get rare stuff and maybe it's really good stuff, there's people who are gonna really want that as long as you can enjoy the game without needing it, right? That's the big thing is all players that play Star Citizen need to be able to enjoy the game, make progress in the game, not hit like really hard capped walls by components. But PvP communities, things like that will want to push everything to the absolute maximum limit. And then those are the people that are going to push for those components. Those are the people that are going to buy those. I think there needs to be an entirely different system, but I'm going to talk about that in like a more edited things like that. And I also agree with what Icy says in the chat. We should be able to get any component from the manufacturer shops with reputation. So this is probably even a placeholder temporary thing, because you would think the more reputation you earn, the better. But knowing that they want to do like tweaked and things like there's some weapons that maybe you can't buy in shops still should probably be a thing, right? That's really exciting, but also it has to be done really well or it's going to be really bad. But that is, woo! Let's go, dude. And that sounds like a 319 change.
That you just looted from somewhere, then be very careful where you use them. And they will become valuable, and they'll usually have some better stats, and they'll be of a different quality, and you'll have to be very...
Every 40-year-old in this room is shaking in their boots that they're actually going to have to play the game. They're literally like they're having a conniption right now. But I can't buy them? I can't what? What am I going to do? I'm also 40. Like, let's be real, okay? But yeah.
Careful with your components. Right now, the insurance mechanic for ships
kidding, guys,
is incredibly powerful,
not being
and
ageist.
We're going to have to see how we make that not break the economy as much as it does right now. So right now, we're not looking into insuring ship items. So we're probably those are gonna be going away as soon as your ship dies.
Whoa! Yeah, we love it. We love it.
Thank you. Hi. Back in 2020, Inside Star Citizen showed us the gate stations of the Aeron Belt, and my question is...
What a question. Let's go. I've wanted to know the answer to this forever. Yo, white sweatshirt guy, let's go.
Are they still in development, and what happened to them?
I couldn't tell you exactly. I think that has been put on hold for now, and we'll be looking at it once Pyro is out the door. Sorry, I don't have more details right now.
That's a rough answer. Oof.
Torsten, you are the next one. Regarding mining, what is the status to enable the drop, collect, and reattach of mining crates of the prospector?
I'm sorry. This is what's wrong with ISC. This is what's wrong with SCL. Three developers, less than 1 hour, and every question I've had about the last 6 months is getting answered. Every single one.
Or the mole to enable larger mining operations with transportation to and from a mining position.
We are actively working on that, and that means that it might be available for you earlier than you think, or sooner than you think. So yeah, keep your be very observant. In the next patch, what?
They're trying to get it into 319, but they don't know. It's not confirmed. I'm not getting my hopes up. Another thing you would never get on an SCL or ISC is that right there.
Yeah, no one heard that.
The next question I have is for Dan on the board. It is in regards to ship oxygen and during...
Where did the Australian come from? Or maybe from New Zealand? What?
A piracy attack, if you attack a ship, cause an internal fire once it's soft death, will the targets on side of the ship have to deal with suffocation?
I will defer to Thorsten for this one.
Yes.
Wow, that was a quick answer. One thing which is not a question in the stream, but still occurs is, where did I read it? Where did I? There. Kacheng. I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you for your hard work and great job.
all I have to say to that is thank you for your amazing dedication over the years. We could really have not done this without you. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, we would have run out of money a long time ago.
Here's another one. Any new informations on player-driven shops, like the Banner Merchant Man or Kraken Privateer?
None at this point. Sorry.
That's okay, though.
Are there plans to implement an...
Oh, I know. I mean, he probably lives in Germany. Terrible. Obviously, you know, he may or may not have flown to the event. Maybe he has friends in an org or something. But yeah, it was just surprising to hear an Australian accent. That's all.
Option to set a specific tax rate for players that are members of an organization. So all their members are automatically contributing into an account that is in possession of the leadership.
Please.
That's directed to Dan.
Oh, they are not talking about this at all. Did you see them like not really they both like looked at each other like we haven't talked about this?
I would say this is something we are looking into. We'll have to experiment. We would like to give this tool, but we'll have to see how it gets used. Generally, we've seen it in other games.
Yes, Yogi got questions.
It's a tool that generally can help organization of bigger structures. It's kind of weird to have to ask for money from all of the members of our organization and they have to pay it manually. Generally, we think it's a good tool, but we will try to implement a prototype it and see how that plays. I think before that, what we need to do is do a proper implementation of organizations, and that's probably where this piece will be part of that bigger organization rework.
And what that means is it's not in the plans right now. It's not, that's not even prototyped. It's not really, I'm sure they've obviously had a little bit of conversation around it, but that sounds not a part of their mind whatsoever. And you know what? That sucks. But if we look at all the other things they need to do, I can accept it, you know? As much as I would want something like that, you have to have the game even recognize what org you're in, right?
Thank you.
But it definitely sounds like not a priority at the moment.
We have in Quantum Drive only waypoints to navigate to. Do we have maybe in the future somehow a free flight feature?
Yeah, we saw it at CitizenCon.
I just have to think whether or not that's public info, but if you've seen the segment with Rich Tyrer and CR in the last CitizenCon, from the last CitizenCon, there is a mentioning of Quantum Boost, which is working independently of set waypoints. So I guess yes.
I have one for Yogi.
Okay.
Will Star Citizen get Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision? Dolby Atmos is becoming more and more prevalent in the living rooms of gamers and would significantly improve the game's sound.
Okay, so by pure accident, I actually checked with the audio director, and yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Is he a audiophile that I wasn't aware of?
Oh, sorry,
maybe?
it was the director of audio technology, just to be clear, not the audio director, but still, yes.
Well, I don't find one in the chat that could be directed.
Thank you, I see. Okay, he was in the sound guy at Frontier.
Who was willing? There.
Nice. Which was obviously amazing.
Oh, out of the Technic room?
Oh, that's right. He moved from sound to the vehicle feature team way back. It's been so long. I've totally forgot. And everyone was like, how's the sound guy going to fix the flight? I remember all that drama. Yeah.
So I got one for Yogi. How is the status, or how can I say it right, but how is the status on scanning? Because with Pyro, we're getting really vast, really big universe. And we need somehow a way to find other people or to come together. So can you say something about scanning, like the Terrapin or Herald or something?
Scanning and the radar system is something I'm not involved with, so I cannot really give a good answer to that, sorry.
Oof, that sucks. And none of them are?
Okay. When, it's another when question, I know you love them, Dan. When will it be possible to change to different outfits with a pre-setup and the click?
As per usual, I can't answer the when, but I want that desperately in the game. It's so needed. It's basic functionality most games have, and as long as you have all the parts of the outfit, you should just be able to load a preset. It's just a matter of us having the time to develop that piece
definitely
of
not a priority
code
at the moment.
to get that in, and it's just playing the priorities and seeing what's more important right now. But I'm pretty sure at some point we'll get to it.
Yeah, and just the fact that you can like click a couple times and it works pretty effectively now with the new patches, I think it's less of a priority than it ever was before.
That question answered, Torsten. Are there plans to incorporate bot models like ChatGPT in the future to enhance the development and maybe even the gameplay experience of Star Citizen, such as assisting players with difficult tasks or helping them navigate through the game? If so, what kind of functionalities and capabilities could be considered?
So I think there's someone from the community who did this really amazing video, like using ChatGPT to actually do like this sequence of starting somewhere, traveling somewhere, and then doing the entire process of landing there. And that was quite amazing. So, and yeah, actually this basically sparked our interest. So it's something that we might look into, but nothing planned so far.
Oh, interesting. Not the answer I was expecting.
Crowd.
Hello. You were talking about pilot fleet some minutes ago. Is it planned to provide skins? They are working on all ships in my fleet, so I can skin my fleet with same color and different ships?
My fleet.
I don't know exactly of any fixed plans, but if we're not planning for allowing you guys in an org to have the same skin for all of the ships in that org, then we're probably doing this wrong. We will have a look into this. If it's not, I'll have a look. If it's not in the plans, we'll have to add it in the plans. It's just a matter of time and priorities, as per usual, as I said. But yeah, it does make perfect sense. If I have an organization,
we all know they're gonna do it. It's just, bro, they let them. There's so many more important priorities. That's it.
Of people, I want everyone to have the same paint job when we're running.
How about the fact that our ships fly so fast you never see the paint in the first place, right? You only see the paint when you're landed. So Yogi's got to do his thing first, way before this is even relevant.
Fleet operation, it's perfectly normal. Yes.
Well, what I can tell you is that the chat is actually going crazy about that freaking melon. Dan, now that the interiors of the cities are being worked on, will we be able to land on the landing platforms or hangars of the large central building on Hurston?
Oh, good
Central
question.
Business District CBD Tower.
So we definitely want to land on pretty much all of the types of buildings that we have in our cities right now. We're mainly looking at the more generic buildings that we can actually do. Let's say we do an interior for one building, we do the landing pads on top of it, and we can have that 50, 100 times in a city. The CBD, it's a bit of a one-off, so if we build it, we'll have to build it just for that building, and it's a lot of development time. But I think in the future that will be the goal. That building was always designed to have some landing pads accessible for the Hurston family and affiliates. And it would be a shame if we can't eventually land there and go inside the building. It's just going to be a matter of what's the best bang for the buck, and I think giving 50, 100 buildings in Lorville to land into is way more profitable than giving a single building, as cool as that building is.
Good point. Yeah, I'll take it.
Here I am. Hello, good evening. My question is about the crime status. So the crime system. Will there be any changes soon, or any overhaul, because it is some kind of brokenish?
Luke?
I know there will definitely be some changes because we need that. We need to do some changes for Pyro, but I don't know exactly what to mean by broken. I know it's not perfect. It's a constantly evolving system. And if there's any issues that we see on issue council that are annoying a lot of you guys, then we'll try to tackle them and see how we do that. I think the main problem with a crime rating right now is that a lot of the times you don't understand what you did wrong, or you don't understand until you've already done it wrong. So yeah, if you have specifics about this, then.
Yeah, I mean,
here we go.
When you have a ship and somebody comes on board on an outpost or so, you have no chance to get him off the ship, and you fly off, he kills you, and when you kill him first, you get a crime stat.
I agree. That is something we need to fix, yes.
And it is kind of funny to me because these guys will go all the way to Germany but won't follow like the most important communication from CIG. That is actively something that I think might be in 3.19, if not the next patch after it. It was in the monthly report and possibly on Roadmap Roundup. Like I think it might have been like multiple times pointed out that specific scenario is one that they're fixing and one that there is a super priority. So, yeah. So for that guy and everyone, it's big. So like
apparently a lot.
Like Dan makes it sound like it's something that like we definitely have to fix that. No, they already are, and they may already have.
A lot of you guys hate that.
One question out of the stream, which it is directed to Dan. We have seen the first steps of the air and ventilation systems. Is there a plan to bring a ship for storing, transport, selling air to other ships?
I will pass this to Thorsten because he now handles everything, resource and life support.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's also tied into the work that we are doing with the refinery. So yes, there will be something like that coming.
Cool. Work on the refinery.
What more? More?
So
more, even more.
Give more.
No.
Sorry.
No, I think that's enough information.
Hello.
That's interesting.
I have two questions. One is from my son.
How long does this
I'm
go?
sitting right here with the handy. One question is from my
He's got like 20 minutes left.
First, when will the friend list work again, so a child can easily use it because he sees his friends playing online and they are not shown online? And second question, it's for me really important. One, does the option in the menu hide friendly player markers in Star Map really does have any, or when does it work?
Okay, on the second question,
an actual space data,
the star map and the radar and so on is currently getting overhauled from the squadron teams. So there probably will be a couple of more options than what you have now, but I'm not too sure about this yet, right? I can bring this forward. Can you say the first question again?
When will the friend list be working again so a child can easily use it without any fix or trick or something like that?
Doesn't it work?
The friend list in-game.
Oh, the friend list?
Yes.
I don't know.
So just to make sure I understand, is there a problem with a child using it or in general that we're talking about here? In general, then probably as soon as possible because it is a core functionality of our social systems, and we'll just tackle it. Yes, it will be any bug pretty much gets triaged by us, and we set up.
I think he means the difficulty of using it in general, but I'm unsure what's difficult about using it. I wish he was able to give more detail, but yeah.
Priority, and if something is not working at all, that pretty much gets set as a blocker and gets fixed as soon as possible. So probably one of the next patches, future patches, will get a fix to this.
It's probably already in some bug list already.
That's promising. This one is also directed to Dan. How does CIG intend to work through the list of unfinished large and capital ships in a timely manner so that supporters don't have to wait another 10 years for the ships in which they have invested so much money? At times it doesn't seem like a priority as CIG has already made the money here and is in no hurry to finish these ships.
I think this is one of these questions that if you guys find John Cruz's Twitter handle, you can spam with all this because he owns that entire pipeline. What I can add from our side is that a lot of these ships are generally not fun to play if you're on your own and you don't have a lot of systems like what we're doing now with Resource Network, where we're doing with...
What a good answer. Oh my God. Thank you. Dan is a godsend to this community. Holy.
Engineer, what enables us to have this multi-crew gameplay, and this is where these ships are going to start getting a lot more higher priority once we have the systems and they become properly functional.
Like, you don't even want them. You know, in reality, you don't even want them. Yes, they're not fun to play, then why add a concept for them? Because they will, the whole point, everything about Star Citizen is what it will be, not what it is, right? Like, how are you watching this stream and not, like, understand that concept, right? Like, if you've gotten here at this point, you've had that feeling at some point, right?
My next question is in regards to organ harvesting. Will we be able to harvest organs from other players and sell it on like some kind of black market, something along these lines?
So,
we found the psychopath.
Should I tell the story? So yeah,
there was something with that in a monthly report a long time ago.
There was some discussions about that in regards to salvage and some grinding machines that you might find in some of our ships and how we could make use of corpses there. But at this point, I'm still not sure if we were actually joking or if we were taking it too seriously.
We'll see.
We'll see. So
okay.
Yeah, answer is we will see.
What the heck?
One question out of the stream. It's directed to Yogi. What will be done about cheating and hacking and scripting, like the pip wiggle?
Pip wiggling has been gone for a while.
Different topics. About pip wiggling is something that we need to fix on the side of the flight gameplay, and we have some things in the work for that, which will again also come over when the work on them is done in squadrons. As for cheating, we have a whole team assigned to combating cheating. I'm not really educated on that, but there is a lot of attention on this right now. But I cannot tell you about the plans and what the anti-cheat software also does. But there's a lot of attention on this right now.
Okay.
We also have some just from the flight team. We have, for example, some in-game tools based on a badge that certain players get.
Which year is this from?
CFG
Yesterday.
Players, which are playing undercover, they can, for example, see what flight parameters are currently used by a player. So if they see, oh, there's somebody who's like pulling a lot of Gs, right? And so they can actually open some debug UI and see that. And if they see, oh, this guy's pulling 200 Gs, something is not wrong there, then this is a good chance for them to get insta-banned. But this is like done on a day, like case-by-case basis. So there's a couple of tools in place. Like the overarching story, I don't know, but like there are isolated cases where our developers pull out players if they cheat.
Thank you.
Will it give a possibility to set markers at places like free space or on planets to find the places again? Markers that we can save and share with other people?
Shared markers.
That is the plan.
Very good, very good. Thank you.
But no detail of when that plan's going to get implemented, you know? So it doesn't matter. That is a when question. It needs to be a when question. It's obviously going to happen, but when is what matters.
Yeah. Make the moderators, they said. It will be fun, they said.
Hello. I just wanted to ask what is the current status on data running and hacking?
No comment at the moment.
Okay.
With some new mission types in the pipeline for 3.19, will we have a trade or cargo?
The question was about data hacking. If I was like coughing or something over, I'm so sorry.
Transport mission soon.
We are working currently on cargo transport missions as we speak. As you guys know, we are heavily working on cargo. The entire cargo pipeline is getting upgraded, so that will be coming together with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And by we, it's the Austin team is my understanding.
I would like to know whether we get the possibility to open doors and close the doors via our mobi-glass from our ships. So, for example, I drive with the rover and have the Carrack there and then drive there, and I want to open the ramp so I can drive in directly.
Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, something like that, yeah, exactly. Because this is none of the stuff with the autopilot, or I'll do it myself, but I just don't want to get out and back in and stuff.
That is also something that might be coming with the resource network work that we are doing there. So
interesting.
It requires some update on the technology that we are having, because the doors, they exist for already quite some time, so it's a legacy system, and but it's on our to-do list to update that, and then we get more functionality out of that, and that includes also the remote control type of thingy.
Yeah, was not expecting that.
Also make it that, can we also make it when you push the button that you have a big horn like on your ship going off? Like beep, beep.
No.
The next one is for Thorsten. Any news on multi-crew stations, especially on larger ships? The last comprehensive concept info from 2014 from a letter from the German referenced other games such as Star Trek Bridge Crew and Artemis Spaceship Bridge Simulator.
Of course it referenced other games.
How deeply will the multi-crew gameplay split tasks on board and require co-op gameplay?
Classic Star Citizen. You know that game that's really popular right now? You know that game that's really exciting right now? Chris played it, and we're going to put it in our game.
Similar to the games mentioned above.
Classic.
So we like especially for big ships, the goal is there to allow multi-crew and even more make multi-crew interesting. And I think what Star Trek Big Crew does, it basically forces you into a certain position. So the seat where you're seated is actually the function that you are facing. Where Artemis is more like, yeah, you basically can take what you can handle, and I think this is more the direction that we are aiming towards. So if you have a very skilled or dedicated player that like really would like to take like up to 10 jobs at the same time, yes, that could be this one person, but that person would burn out quite quickly, at least from my point of view. So our goal here is we make multi-crew attractive. That means that it is necessary because there's just so much that needs to be handled by, and it might be too much for one player. So not the forced way like they do in Star Trek Bridge Crew, but more like depending on who you are traveling with, this should scale with the ship. So bigger ships will benefit from bigger crews that actually handle the systems.
Fair enough.
Well,
seems far away.
If we watch on the clock, if we look on the clock, it is almost time. So it will be... No, there's nothing happening behind. No. But, well, it's time to finish this panel.
Bro, look at this production.
We are all very sad about that, aren't we? And I think if we would ask the stream and they would have a voice, they answer the same way. So, last question from the crowd. And I don't want to put any pressure on you, but I hope it's a good one. It was here in front, yeah.
Hi, my question is for Thorsten again. Will it be possible in the future to hack stolen goods so they are clean again and can be sold at full price? And how is this planned?
Can you repeat that, please?
You know what? Really good question. And I think it takes the stolen issue answer that Thorsten was like, yeah, we need to fix that, and say, okay, tell me how.
Yeah. Will it be possible in the future to hack stolen goods and so that they are clean again and can be sold at full price?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, okay. That's worth a clap. That's worth a clap, guys. That's big.
Well, I would say how? You survived 1 hour of questions. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you feel tortured?
You guys were very nice. You're gentle.
Not too bad. They weren't too bad.
We survived.
I love it.
You want to have more?
Sure.
He put the pressure on them.
So we leave Yogi alone.
Sorry.
Goodbye, Yogi. Goodbye. We leave you alone.
We will answer together.
Great. And then I'll come to the cosplay guy.
Hello. If you put something in your ship and that ship accidentally explode, you get I think it's a 2 SCU container. That's very useful to manage stuff, bring weapons, ammunition to the fight for your crew. Will it be in the future possible to get to buy that containers directly, besides putting something in a small ship and blow it up?
You're referring whether it's will it be available to buy containers
to buy
in the
container,
empty ones?
Empty container to put stuff in.
Sure.
Yeah, we find this very useful, and we're probably going to offer also some containers that will be purpose-built, as in you open them and there's like a gun rack inside, and it's they function more like a locker.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go.
So
Nice.
besides that, there probably will be some type of general purpose containers which can fill with, I don't know, dirty underwear or whatever your thing is.
Why would he say that?
Now we know what you are filling your storage with. So, in that moment, I must say I'm sorry for the stream. I already gave my tablet back. I don't have access to any stream questions right now.
Wait,
that
they're
means,
still going?
It will be in the crowd. As Chris mentioned earlier, that's the exclusive content.
It's like 5 minutes, I
just
think.
a short question. What about the melon? Why is it there?
What melon?
I have the feeling that some people in the audience might know.
Yeah, just ask over there somewhere. They will know.
I think they are quite entertained about the melon, so they might know. So I think it's over there, the answer.
Wasted the question
I
on a
have
melon.
two questions.
Yeah.
First, you was talking about the 2SCU box. Would be able to give it a name?
Oh, okay.
A pet name?
Label
or
them.
just you would like a...
No.
Label them.
To give the box a name for
yes,
one weapon, for weapon.
As cargo management becomes more important to the game, we want you to be able to organize your containers, and you will
Thank you,
say
Curly.
weapon crate 5A, underwear crate 5B, and so on. It does make sense to be able to label your containers.
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you. Do you plan to wipe the money with 319?
You had your question. So I heard that over here there are the people who could answer the melon thing, right? So please fill us in. You're pointing fingers. One of you needs to answer.
Watermelon is a really good PvP pilot. That's the answer. But we have another question. So currently we have... I'm hijacking it. So currently we have really good proximity comms that actually work. But if you try to direct call someone, the UI and the user experience is somewhat lacking. Are there any plans or thoughts about proximity comms for ships similar to the VHF channel 16 that normal ships use?
I don't think this is any of them.
I don't know. This is something for the social team. There are certain shortcomings with the current comm system, but I'm not educated enough to answer this.
That sucks.
Ask it in Spectrum, you might get a reply.
Okay. I know there are many open questions, and I think we could do that all night. But well, from my point of view, it's time to say thank you. It was a great pleasure to have you on stage.
It's ridiculous how much better that is than anything CIG puts on. It's so sad.
Can we do some stuff like...
When you take the constraints off, it's, you know, they get to be themselves. They know what they should say and they know what they should not say. And hiding all these little things behind all these little things just makes no sense. And it was so nice to hear just clear, open communication. That's open development, what just happened right there.
Standing ovations!
You know, no holding things back. Oh, we'll talk about that on a later ISC or blah, blah. You know, it was just quick, concise, clear, bang. Very German, yes. That was awesome. All right, well, I guess that was it.
Ja, und damit...
They're just getting the watermelon and stuff. That was one of the best productions I've ever seen a community put on, let alone the entire game update on anything. That was so awesome. And we heard so many things that I can't even remember all the things. I think the highlights are salvageable components, not in the shops, but they sound very good as well. And you might and probably will lose those components when you die. I think that, for me, is the biggest takeaway that affects everyone in the game. And I'm really nervous and really excited about how they're going to do it. Mentioning refinery gameplay was a thing. No AI fleets was another thing that they point out. You can have AI helping you and aiding you, but they really want people to pilot their own ships, which is really good. Oxygen resupply being part of refinery mechanics. Any other highlights in the chat, guys, that maybe I'm forgetting? The salvage one is the most exciting for me because it's a 319 thing, very clearly. So super excited for that, and yeah, I'm really hyped. Let me give you guys the VOD again. It starts at 5:37.